I love Guatemala!
I had heard how joyful the people were, but I didn't really fully understand it until I came here to experience it for myself.
It's just amazing how you're sitting in the back of the truck and everyone's waving to you and they're just so excited to see.
Before I came to Guatemala, I was pretty spoiled, I guess. Each of us are.
You just have so much joy.
Yeah, they have so much joy and they don't have to have stuff.
So last night I decided to share my testimony with the youth of Guatemala. This is a great way to start my new beginning with God.
It just gives me a chance to do like some soul searching, and I feel like lots of times when we have our phones in front of our face the whole time, we don't really see the world we live in.
And when stuff does get frustrating, when work gets frustrating, to remember to smile and show God's love through your work.
Coming back to Guatemala has just been such a good refresher of people's attitudes here when they're closer to God.
Over the last 4 times of coming to Guatemala, I've seen an amazing progression.
There was a dream of building a school. So as a group of men, we stood on that piece of dirt and we prayed for things to come.
A year ago, we saw just the beginning of groundbreaking and the beginnings of walls coming up, but there was so much to do. Maribel is the secretary. In the very first school, she was the cook. And it's been neat to see our relationship grow each time we've been able to come.
The school in Membrillal, for example, has gone from a little kind of shack building to a enormous, beautiful campus.
They're learning God's truth, they're singing about God's word, they're learning about how to have a relationship with Jesus. That's the central focus.
And watching from 8 years ago where you had kindergartners all the way up now we're in 8th grade, and the way that that impacts a community is just as far as functioning and development through their adolescence.
They're so happy just to be at school, which is incredibly life-changing for me.
We dread going to school, and I hope that I can keep the attitude of wanting to go to school and wanting to learn.
We could hear the precious children reciting their lessons. And to me, that just meant we are helping to break the cycle of poverty. And not only that, but to minister the gospel.
It's going to change the next generation of kids for the better.
You feel like you're almost as like a part of the community, in hopes that one day the community will be able to break free from this.
And they're harvesting fish and they're harvesting produce, and they're super excited. Still working on making changes, but you can just see the passion that they want this project to work, and they're not going to give up until it does.
We got to build a stove for a family who was cooking over an open fire.
Show them that we're here to help them and that they're not alone in like poverty.
I think my favorite job that I did this week was the cement. Honestly, like doing the hard work and like the labor that you had to put into like doing the actual like thing makes it feel so much more special. At the end, we all just gathered around and had a huge prayer, and it was really great.
They were just so thankful that we were building a house for them.
Not that it was anything we were doing, they were praising God for what was being given to them.
Today I met this little boy. Apparently when he was little he had strokes every 20 minutes. I can't explain how that made me feel exactly, but it broke my heart.
We asked how old they were, and they were 8, and they started singing a song, and it was weird because it was the same song that I had sung growing up.
And then my dad had this idea to help her start her own business, to get her successful and get her on her feet, and we all knelt down and prayed for her when she started sobbing and asked for us to pray for her.
And one day we were helping this family. Caitlin Riddle and I went out and bought a soccer ball and gave it to him the next day. And they were just so happy to have that soccer ball, and we played around with them. And she gave me bracelets. We asked her if we could buy the bracelets for her to help her out. And she said, "No, I'm not a vendor. I want to give this to you."
I'm realizing that there's a universal connection with people, and it's God's joy. It comes in smiles and laughter and even praise and prayer.
It's just so powerful that there are no words to describe it.
So I would encourage people, if you've been on one, don't stop, just keep coming back.
You really can't find a sense of fulfillment until you step outside your comfort zone.
We are full of joy even when we suffer. We know that our suffering gives us strength to go on. The strength to go on produces character. Character produces hope. And hope will never let us down.